I call President Larson to preside over the presentation and conferring of an honorary degree.
I call Ms. Deborah Ann Leach, Bentley trustee and 1983 Bentley alumna, to present Laura Sin for conferral of an honorary degree. Laura J. Sin, accomplished leader, careful listener, expert in the art and science of retail. We are proud to confer upon you today the honorary degree, Doctor of Commercial Science. The CEO desk at BJ's Wholesale Club is fully stocked with ideas and insights. These you gather in regular visits among BJ's 207 locations, talking with and learning from team members, vendors, and shoppers. Your natural gift for building relationships has made the company a consistent star performer in the most fickle of industries. It was love of shopping, not business, that drew you to the executive training program at Jordan Marsh at age 22. Your skills in and affinity for the profession grew during a decade with Zayre discount stores. At BJ's, in a two-part career spanning 22 years, you've made the retail sector your own and reset benchmarks for courage, quality, integrity, and profitability. You were raised on high expectations by an Irish-American mother and Chinese-American father, but also supported in pursuing ambitious goals. The call to help others was another early lesson. You continued the family tradition as an active board member for the Pine Street Inn, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, and the Boston Ballet, among other commitments. It is no small matter to lead a workforce whose size rivals that of a small city. But your management philosophy rests on understanding their individual strengths and struggles and empowering each to act on behalf of BJ's members. As you put it, we're a company of ordinary people who do extraordinary things. In you, we have an extraordinary role model. They do as well. Therefore, by virtue of the authority vested by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and by the Bentley University Board of Trustees, we confer upon you, Laura Sin, the degree Doctor of Commercial Science, honoris causa. We hold it both a huge pleasure and an honor to do so. Laura.
I now call Ms. Sin to deliver the commencement address.
Thank you, President Larson, for that very kind introduction and for inviting me to speak here today. First, I'd like to extend my congratulations to the class of 2015. I'd also like to recognize your family, friends, and faculty who have supported you in getting here. So I'm going to start off with some good news. Gloria asked me to keep this speech to 15 minutes max. We wholesale club merchants believe that less is more, so this won't even go 15. The other good news is I'm not going to give you any advice because what worked for me is not going to work for you because I never got a master's degree. I was one of those liberal arts majors. I actually majored in French, which led me to do my junior year abroad. At the time, it was a pretty unusual thing to do. Some little voice inside me said I needed to break out of my small town bubble. I don't think I'd even ever been on a plane. So in the fall of my sophomore year, I told my parents about my plan to study in Paris. They were very supportive, but also kind of puzzled because at the time, I don't think either of them had ever been to Europe. By the way, that is not a criticism. Although we were of modest means, my parents and extended family helped to send me to college and come out debt-free, and you know what that is worth. So off I flew to Paris in the fall of 1976. It started out extremely lonely because I didn't know a soul. And unlike today, calling home was a major investment. Communication took the form of those little blue lightweight letters stamped par avion or airmail. So without my family and friends, I had to figure out how to make my way in this foreign city living in an apartment with an 84-year-old woman. going to the Sorbonne every day and then going down the street to take French language lab. Of course, eventually, I made some friends in my program and got to know my way around the city, and it turned out to be an awesome year. I learned to love the French culture, the proud history, the rich literature, iconic art, and architecture, not to mention hours and hours in cafes, drinking coffee, enjoying wine and cheese. I traveled all over to Amsterdam, Athens, Barcelona, Brussels, Cannes, Geneva, and London. I skied in Stade in the winter and spent the summer in Ibiza. Needless to say, when I got back to BC, senior year was somewhat of a letdown. Thankfully, we had the blizzard of 1978, which was really fun, and I got to take art classes because I had finished my academic requirements. Frankly, I couldn't wait to get out of there. In fact, I skipped graduation to go back to Paris and hang out some more. Of course, it wasn't like I had a plan. I had zero interest in business, and after a couple months in Paris, I had zero money. So I had to come back and face the real world. At that point in my life, I don't think I even knew what a CEO was. But I needed a job, and I got a job in retail. And as Gloria pointed out, it worked because I love fashion and shopping. By the way, I can't believe what they made me wear today. And second, of course, I needed to pay the rent. So between my first job as executive trainee at Jordan Marsh in 1978 and becoming CEO of BJ's Wholesale Club, 2009, I had a wonderful 30-year journey. But when I reflect on it and when I think about what my most meaningful accomplishments have been, they are not on my resume. And my guess is that 30 years from now, yours won't be either. My hope for you is to have a life that is enriched by big ideas and a wide array of experiences and people who make you happy. Of course, I don't know what makes you happy, but I encourage you to think about it every day. And because I promised not to give advice, I won't, but I'm going to talk about one big idea. The idea I want to talk about, the global transformation underway right now, is the digital age. A couple hundred years after the Industrial Revolution, this is our 21st century revolution. I challenge you to think about an enterprise, a country, a population, or a current event that has not been dramatically influenced by, or, in more cases, created by and caused by the flood of information, images, and data all around us, amplified by the speed it enables. Before the digital age, the dissemination of information took two essential forms. First, mass media, which included TV, radio, print journalism, advertising, and the like. And the other was interpersonal communication, in person, by phone, by letter, or in group meetings. It was all pretty controlled. I mean, TV and radio stations had that time delay to bleep out bad words. There isn't much bleeping these days because people aren't watching real time anyway. I would argue that mass media and interpersonal communication have been turned on their collective heads. And I would also argue that the proliferation of devices and the ability for every voice to be heard instantaneously is an amazing and swift democratization of communication and connection on the planet. Every day, we learn more about the opportunities and consequences of the revolution. Some examples: how about the wildly successful Ice Bucket Challenge and the millions it raised? Social media created a viral frenzy of chili videos. And the Tunisian fruit seller's tragic political suicide, which led in no small part to Arab Spring. Protests broke out within hours as social media spread news of his act across the country. Recently, the sad and revealing observations of law enforcement gone awry. A new dialogue on race has arisen due to citizens' digital involvement. On a less serious level, the digital age has given us new ways of connecting, from Match.com marriages to Facebook cat videos to celebrity Twitter feeds. There's a lot more to say, but of course you get the idea. At the center of it is the broadcast of individual voices, which empowers citizens and consumers. It shapes opinions, forms unusual and previously impossible alliances. It offers new and unthought of ways to connect. And in business, it is certain that technology will continue to drive value creation, innovation, speed to market, and ultimately success. But success in business isn't the only reason I bring up the digital age. Remember the little blue airmail letter I used to send from Paris? Fast forward 40 years, and it's a Skype conversation. That is a beautiful thing. Being able to connect with people anywhere, real time. And as you think about what will make you happy every day, think about people, think about those connections, and think about the resume of your life. Connecting with people authentically will be the foundation of your greatest accomplishments. Going back to that very first job in the Jordan Marsh department store, I struggled with the backbreaking work of unloading and merchandising the shipments, dealing with damages, and taking inventory. My feet hurt from standing in heels all day, and after Paris, it felt pretty mundane. To make matters worse, Ellen, the veteran handbag buyer, used to come down from the buying offices to the sales floor and rearrange everything I had just done. Needless to say, this liberal arts graduate was not happy. In fact, I shared with my boss, the divisional sales manager. She advised me to develop a relationship with Ellen's assistant buyer, Larry. She said, "You need to make Larry your best friend." So I took Larry to lunch, I got to know him, and I genuinely liked him. After that, it was easy to enlist him as an ally, and in fact, we did become friends. Just as my boss said, things got a lot better. I had the inside scoop from Larry on what Ellen wanted, and he also ran defense for me. Instead of swimming upstream with Ellen, I was communicating through a new channel, Larry. It changed my job from miserable to enjoyable, from impossible to successful. Now, I know this is not a particularly profound story, but at the time, it was an invaluable lesson. Here I was, book smart, but totally clueless on how to connect and collaborate in the workplace. Early on, learning to develop trust and learning how vital relationships are in business enabled my path forward. It was all about connecting. You will have much success in life if you make those connections, whether at home, at work, or in your community. And in the digital age, it's easy to connect 24/7. It's amazing. We have an entirely new vocabulary. We text, we Google, we Facebook, we tweet, we YouTube, and on 24/7. And that's kind of a double-edged sword, an overabundance of nearly cost-free communication. Making the choice of how, when, and with whom to connect may be the toughest part of managing your life's resume, figuring out how to manage your time, and what's important are the hard decisions. And you need to make them conscious decisions, or your life and your time and your resume will get away from you. Making those decisions will be easier with some guiding principles. I will conclude with a few that I believe in. Be yourself. Actually, be your very best self. Give 110%. Be passionate and enthusiastic about what you decide to do. Your inner goodness and talent will shine if you let go of any notion of being someone or something else other than the very best you. Be positive. Find something good about everything, because there is good in everything. And in seeking what's good, you'll find more success than you ever believed possible. Be honest. Truth-telling is the foundation of trust, and trust is the foundation of lasting, meaningful, and rich relationships. Be humble. Listen more than you talk, and give freely of yourself. Again, you'll get back more in return than you ever expected. Do not worry about things you cannot control. In the course of human existence, worrying never solved one problem. Spend your time and energy on finding solutions. Laugh. Actually, try to laugh a lot. Life is serious, but it's also very funny. A lightness of being will make your journey much easier, and it will act as a magnet for others to want to be with you. You might say, these are platitudes, but these are the things that I believe in, and these are the guideposts that have allowed me to lead a happy, fulfilling life and to succeed in business. As you might recall, I don't have a graduate degree, so you're already way ahead of where I started. Rest assured that when you focus on your life, being your very, very best self, being positive, honest, connecting with and helping others, you will succeed beyond your wildest imagination and revel in the world we enjoy, with technology at your fingertips to make connections for the moment and for a lifetime. Graduates of Bentley class of 2015, Go forth and prosper. Good luck and Godspeed. Thank you.